What's good? It's your boy Verse, Random House University. Just come with a random thought, right? I was thinking, something hit me the other day, right? I was looking at something, and it was talking about some spiritual stuff, and it took to like a deeper level to understand like the stuff that I'm studying right now. It's on a deeper level than I thought, and I wanted to share that with y'all. But before I do that, I wanted to just give a perspective on what I see coming up, cause I've been pondering lately, thinking about like what's possible, you know, how we gonna live, right? How we gonna live through this world? You know, I'm listening to things saying one world government, the 1% is in control. Things about to change. Changes is coming in 2030. The end of humanity. Then the stories about it's not the end of humanity, it's the end of an age, the water bearer, and all of the stuff I'm speaking of right now. Since it's a random moment, I'm not gonna really break down too much of it. I just wanted to just share my thoughts, right? And the ones that get it, get it. The ones that don't, learn to, right? So, so with everything that I put together, I try to say, like, what's the end goal? We got man, and I was having this conversation with a couple of people too, but we got man that's walking this earth, and then we get a robot, right? Now we're gonna have two walking this earth, right? Because if you took the humans out the picture and put robots there, right, as with the information that we gave them, these robots for the most part can function and be dominant on this planet, right? I'm not too sure if they'll take care of the world with the fishes. I mean, if we give robots information like we're going to, right, then they can run the world like humans do. If humans wasn't here, they would be at the top of the food chain, right? Correct. So I was thinking is humans, when we think of ideas, these ideas I feel like don't come from the third dimension. Again, I'm going through this really quick. If you got it, you got it. You don't, it's just my thoughts. Alright, we live in the third dimension, right? Our thoughts and our ideas don't come from our brain. We don't store no information in our brain. Everything that we think of don't come here. This is just a receiver, okay? This is just a transmitter. It transmit or converts the information that's coming down, and it converts it to where we can understand it, so we can put it out for the third world, right? Third dimension. So for my personal belief, I think that the information that we get comes from the fourth dimension. Where's the fourth dimension? I don't know. But the fourth dimension is higher than us. And what's higher than us? Ourselves. Okay? So we got a higher self. So I feel like the fourth dimension and the thoughts that we thinking is coming from our fourth self. Okay? And we're pulling it from the fourth dimension down to the third dimension. Okay? So all this information that you see, like you see this vehicle that I'm in right now, this vehicle was already here before the person created it. You understand? It was in the universe. We never understood. So whoever created this vehicle, it was a singular, or it was a, gathering that everybody came together and consciously pulled down this information to create this vehicle. So anybody could have created this vehicle. And anybody can create this vehicle in any shape, in any style, in any form, in any chemicals. You know why? Because there's so many different dimensions and so many different ways that you can create a vehicle. It's just that we don't know it because we haven't pulled that information yet down from the fourth dimension. Or maybe higher. Fifth dimension, sixth dimension, 10th dimension, right? Okay, so now, us as humans, that's one of the special things, right? Our souls, and the fact that we can tap into different dimensions even when we go to sleep. When you go to sleep and you dream, some people don't dream like myself. I don't really dream. I say, when I close my eyes, I see black, and there's only ones in blue. I get a dream, and if I do get those dreams, and if it's significant, I sit down and I write it down. Outside of that, it's just a dream, and I just dream black, and I wake up and I live another day. Okay, so, but they say when you dream, you're leaving this third dimension that you're living in, and you're floating into another dimension, and you're coming back. Now, it's what you go out there to pull back. Now, if you understand your dreams, then you will be able to understand that you can control your dreams. And if you control your dreams, then you can understand that when you sleep, the whole purpose is for you to go out and journey, is search, explore, and know how to obtain what you obtain and bring it back. Okay, so every time we go to sleep, we are searching the dimensions to bring something back to the third dimension. Okay, to bring it better. But, we don't know that. That's like saying we just go out to eat to survive, but don't know that if you eat a certain way, you could be more healthier than just eating. Right? So if you sleep, you can sleep. But if you know how to sleep, then you could be more healthier when you sleep. Right? You get what I'm saying? Everything is a lesson in this plane. Everything is a lesson I'm learning. Everything is a lesson to be learned. Okay, so mine is all of that. Now you got humans that can think from fourth dimension and beyond, right? Now you got robots. Okay. Now you have robots and humans at the same time, and I'm talking about right now. If you got to walking in your house, creating your food, dropping off deliveries, self-driven, all of that great stuff, right? If they here right now, people are so scared that the robots is going to take over, right? Robots are 10 billion times way better than us. Now I can tell you this, 100% yes and 100% no. And the way I'm saying 100% yes is because at the moment, absolutely, humans don't have no capability of doing anything. Okay? We need help for everything. So this is thus why the robots are here. Now, while the robots are taking control, they can do anything they want to us because we cannot fight back. We can't fight back with the weapons. We can't fight back with the downloading the information. Right? They just fast and superior to us in every way. But if y'all understand yourselves, then you will understand that the robots is nowhere near superior to what we can do, and that think about this. For example, they call things like chakras your makraba, right? You when you control all your chakras in your body, right? You create a makraba. Right, this makraba is a energy force field that's around your body. We all have energy force field around our body now, but it's very weak due to the fact that our pineal glands is covered with callus. Right, it's covered it up, so you cannot see with your third eye. Literally, you have an eye like this inside the middle of your head. Okay, and it's called the pineal gland. Okay, that's your third eye. People say they talk about this in Egypt and so many different other religions, but that's another whole different story. But right. So your pineal gland. So when you control your chakras, you can create a makraba, and that makraba is around you to be a very strong energy. And with that energy, you are capable to do a lot of things. Okay, you hear me? If you are weak and you need energy, your makraba will fill you up. If you got any type of viruses, your makraba will cure you. Okay, you will be healthy for life. If you feel like you want to live forever, your makraba can help you live forever. Okay, this is how deep this thing is. So now with this makraba, you can do a lot of things. You can fly, you can go to different dimensions, you can even transform yourself to walk through walls, and you know what I'm saying, you could walk to a different dimension if you wanted to and come back. You don't have to travel. Okay, we can just and come back, but we don't know that. So if we can have those capabilities all at once, then robots is nothing. You see what I'm saying? How can a robot destroy you when you can never be destroyed? You can destroy me now and I can disappear and come back and somewhere else. You cannot destroy me. So robots is zero at that point. But now it's not. Okay? And this is another key thing about why robots need us. Okay? There is nowhere until they could become sentient, I believe, and then they can do their own literally thing. They could never be on to this point yet. Maybe until they put a what they call that computed thing. Quantum computing thing, then it might be a different story. But and I 10 billion, 10 out of billion, 10, it's already been done. But for right now, robots cannot be stronger than humans because humans can think outside the box, third, fourth, fifth dimension. Robots can't. What robots can think of is the information that humans input for robots to download. That's it. Simple and plain. So they cannot think for themselves for the most part. And if you say they okay, think for yourself, yeah, they're not. If you tell them one, there's a million numbers out there, but I'm gonna download in your system 1 to 10, then the robot is gonna keep fucking around with 1 to 10 to figure out all the possibilities and live off of that. and live off the possibilities that they created and create off that. That's their universe, right? That's how they're going to think. But if you tell a robot, okay, I'm gonna download 10 numbers in you, but you have the capability to do your own thing and go find the rest of the million billion numbers out there, then the robot will do that. But at the same time, it's also creating its own consumption with the 1 to 10 and also creating a consumption to the billions. And then from there, it takes its own path. But that's the interesting part about robots. So at the end of the day, robots need us. Robots need human brains. Not the brains, but the thinking, that what we have the capacity to pull from the third dimension down. So if you get rid of humans and just take the brain, you're still not going to be, well, we're not going to be useful to the humans, because it's something about where we can go to get the information. The brain ain't doing it. It's us. So this is why, thus, I believe why humans is not going to be destroyed completely, because it's something innate about us and capable for us to do that robots just can't do. And other humans that are in control, that say, hey, we could wipe them out right now, but it's something that, let's spend all the money we can to build this stuff over here like them, because we don't want them no more, but we want that. And then when we go build that and we go look at it, it's always with all these private companies, we paying all these trillions and trillions and quadrillions of dollars to build our something like humans. Somehow we just cannot get there, because it's something innate about humans that they do that we just can't find. We every time we get everything perfect, it's just that one thing. It leads back to that one thing that we just cannot recreate. Like, think about this. Like, we can't recreate that. Humans have all the ingredients. Sidebar. Humans have all the ingredients to water. Okay? We have all the ingredients to water. But somehow we still can't replicate water. We can make fake food, but we can't make fake water yet. It's interesting, right? It's another thorn out there. Shit that I be thinking about. Like, I'm like, come on, bro. You're talking about we can create all of this and terraforming all of this, but we just can't recreate water. Water's a living water, I'm guessing. Alright, now back to the story. What I think is, humans and AI, we are merging. Of course, it is inevitable. And why I'm saying it's inevitable, because again, when a human is doing a job, a robot is doing a job better, right? So of course companies is gonna go hire the robots. So humans gonna be like, yo, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna survive? We can't compete against these robots. We're just gonna. But when you're thinking like that, don't worry. We're gonna have a class of people that's gonna be here, that's gonna have abundance of jobs because they're robots. And breaking it down real quick, back then when we had switchboards, and if people came in there and said, hey, look, people with the switchboards, you taking the cords out the jobs is gonna be gone. Robots taking over. Good luck. From that time to now, what computers created the jobs within, just in the sector of communications, there's tons of jobs that never was there before. So yeah, I know they lost their job at that time, but they didn't see all these other jobs that was going to be created by computers at, for the future. And look at the computers that we had at the time, and look at the computers we have now. So imagine the jobs that, when these robots take over our jobs, what type of jobs is going to be created, right? Not going to be the normal jobs that we think of. Think about the jobs that they were doing in the past to what the jobs that we're doing now. They never could have fathomed what this is, okay? So think about that. I don't understand why it's so hard sometimes when people think it's the end of the world, and they just want to bring this upon you, upon us. You want to bring it upon yourself. I don't get it. It's not the end of the world, man. It's just the end of an age. It's the end of an era. We have old shit around us, and the people that's at the 1% just love to use fear. And if you understand psychology and reverse psychology, you will understand fear is one of the things that will control people. When you put fear into your opponent, it's that your opponent is more easily to be controlled. Look it up. Right? Now, so why you think you hear a bunch of wars, and why you think you hear the president saying, "Oh my gosh, I am about to put my finger on the button. I'm about to push the button." You see what I'm saying? It's that fear that it's on the edge. They want you to believe that we are on the cusp or the edge of war. Now, am I saying that there could be war? Absolutely, there can be war. But I am not saying that that's not still part of the plan. Okay? We can burn ourselves down to the ground, Chris. We can go to do anything. We could do everything possible. But at the end of the day, it's still part of the plan. Y'all gotta understand this, okay? It's like saying you got two enemies, right? That don't like you. You got two people that don't like you. So at the end of the day, they want to get rid of you. So their goal is this. I want to get rid of him by drowning him. Dude over here like, nah, my name. I want to get rid of him. Oh, my bad, guys. Yeah, I'm following you, baby. Right? So, it's like, the other one is like, nah, you want to drown by water. I want to drown him by fire. The other one is like, nah, water sounds better. So the other one's like, you know what? Let's see who can kill him first. So they fighting each other, and they trying to kill you. So guess what? It doesn't matter who wins with the fight. You're still dead. They're still gonna kill you. Now, how? Depends on who wins, right? This is what we're going through. Think about this with every country, okay? They all want to kill everybody. Everybody want to kill everybody. That one country just wants to be the country. But at the end of the day, they all behind the scenes talking about it's the same shit. Humans gotta go. Right? But we can't let them go because they got something we need. And we need to use it. Consciousness, your spirit, something about that they just need, right? They just can't get an abundance of it. It's like when Dad created mankind, he only created a certain amount of us. Real talk. He only created a certain amount of us. And we just being recycled and being repurposed until the day he return and take us off that hamster wheel and give us our true purpose. That could just be me, right? But that's my belief. Now, why am I saying all of this? Because at the end, like I said from the beginning, I think I see the end goal for where it's leading. So you got humans and you have robots, right? Right now, we ain't fucking with robots. We don't trust them. We think they're gonna kill us, right? They taking all our jobs. We don't know what we're gonna do, right? But then you got somebody called Elon Musk that's coming out with this Neuralink that's putting chips in people's brains, and then you got private companies that's doing the same thing. It's just that we're not being advertised, right? So why these chips in people's brains and people getting programmed on the low, being smarter out here, getting better jobs, and you just trying to figure this shit out? Like, I don't get it. I got this degree on the top of my class. This person is just perfect in every way. Like, they just don't understand that they just downloaded everything. Right? Now, advantage is starting to happen. Wealth is starting to change. You get it? Certain people just always getting jobs. And why did they do that? Secretly, because they already knew that they had to be a competition towards the robots. They can't be human going against robots. They had to add something, some element of a robot AI technology to their body so they could be competitive. It's just a competitive sport of nature that we have as humans, right? So, this is going to go on for a little bit. And guess what? It's going to become a little popular. They're going to start advertising it to the point where we have cyborgs. Cyborgs is half robot, half human. Right? So, with the cyborg, it's going to be pretty much people add in chips in their brain, be able to compete with robots. Because now, look, I'm telling y'all this. Forget education. Forget being a doctor. Forget being a lawyer. Forget being yourself. It's over. Okay? It's over. Because I'm going to speed up this process for you. Humans, no robots. Humans, robots. Humans, cyborg, robots. Humans become robots. Sentient. Right? How? Because what's going to happen is, before I say that, they have a brain. Right? It's just like we are Terminator. Mix, Matrix, all in one. There's a brain. Skynet. This brain takes all the information from our vehicles, from our smart homes, from our smartphones, from our smart camera rings, from our smart streets in the future, smart trees in the future, smart pet collars in the future, smart humans already. And when I'm saying smart humans already, it's not because we're smart, because we have what they call smart dust, okay? These particles of smart dust is little computerized. So literally, I don't want to believe me, you don't have to believe me. I don't give a fuck if y'all don't believe me, but I'm telling y'all the truth. And in the future, when you see it, you probably have to rewind this and understand what I'm saying and say, yo, he was on something way before we even knew. Okay, so I'm telling you, this is called something called smart dust. Okay, smart dust is particles that y'all see out these airplanes. Okay, if you ever want an answer about these airplanes are called chemtrails. Chemtrails is little small particles, that dust. You know that chemtrail, the little trail of that those airplanes be leaving in the sky. This is what it is. Okay, it's called chemtrails. I don't know if they know, but I know some people get paid. There's a switch in the airplane. You click, boop. When you click that switch, all that smoke come out from the back, right? What that smoke is called shaft, okay? It's called shaft. Shaft is small pieces of metal, particles. What they say the purpose is, which it can be, because always they love to do multiple things. They have a purpose for something, but then they also have side purposes. You know, we could benefit from this thing multiple ways. Why don't we? That's the way they move. But they have a main purpose for it, right? So, I'm not too sure. Well, I'm going to say this. Okay, the side purpose is that since it's shaft and it's metal, imagine the metal being aluminum foil being shredded up to dust. Okay, that's literally what it is. And this metal is being reflected into space like a magnifying glass. So if the sun is shooting down 100% sunlight into the Earth's atmosphere, right? We are reflecting at least 50 to 40% of that back into space so it doesn't overheat the planet. That is what they're saying they're doing to help with global warming. This is thus what they're doing. Now, even that note right there in some cases is secrets. They don't even want to tell people that they're doing that, right? Now, is that helping or cooling down the planet to where it's messing us up, to where we're having these crazy storms? Who knows? But this is the reason why they're saying, because they're saying the planet is heating up and they're just trying to cool it down. Right? The second purpose is that is called smart dust. Smart dust falls down to the surface of the planet and covers everything. And when I'm talking about what it look like smudge on your glass windows. If you have a house window, let it rain one day, right? And when it finishes raining, look at your window. You're going to see all this white like smudge. You're going to think it's residue, but really, to tell you the truth, it's smart dust. If you don't believe me, scrape off the dust as much as you can. Put that dust onto a piece of paper or something and go grab yourself a magnet and go to town with it and tell me what you see. All right? Everything's in front of us. And you know what's so crazy and that I had to understand that it's so true, because it's even with myself, and that's why I notice with everybody else. They said if you want to hide things from mankind right now, put it in a book. We don't read. We too lazy. We are on a TikTok mindset, okay? TikTok, nigga. We're on a second. That's it. We have a second of brain capacity to what we want to do or what we could handle. before we want to just stop or want to do something else. It's sad. So, it's in books, okay? Or freaking just do what I said just to see. People won't even want to do it. If I say, just so you can know the truth, you'll sit there and be thinking like, is it true or not? I don't know. For the life of you, until you die, instead of just simply taking your lazy ass up, scraping it off the window for a minute, and just testing out to see. And if it is true, go take your ass down that rabbit hole and see else is true. Because if you see that that's true, then you probably find out that there's other things that you could probably fix. And what you can fix is your health, your life, financial purpose, right? So many other things. But again, you got to take action. Now, back to the story. We're going to be tied up with these robots with cyborgs. It's going to become to a point where they're going to make the cyborgs popular, right? To where people getting chips in their brains because now you could download things instantly. So if you wanted to become a doctor, download the stuff instantly. Boom. You know how to do surgery without a problem. You don't know how to fly that plane? Boom, download it. You know how to fly the plane. You don't know that shit that the teacher was talking about? Boom, download it. Now you know the whole thing. You can talk about it and write it and won't forget it. And if anybody else have the chip, you can share it. You can even share your own thoughts and your memories with somebody else, right? That's not point. But what I'm saying is, you see how I'm saying all of these jobs are going to disappear? Because why would you need to go to school when you could just download it? It's instant. This is how robots is thinking. This is why we need to be competitive like them. So we got to do the same thing. You get it? This is where we going. So when it comes down to being smart anymore, that shit is out the window. You don't need to be smart no more. Everybody's going to be smart. Certain people, the ones that got the money or the credit to do so. Because if you ain't got the credit, then you don't. And understand that this is going to be a generational gap, okay? If you can pay for how smart you can be, then imagine the people that's broke. They would never ever get the chance to ever have money. So, which means they kids would never ever have the chance to change or break the generational curse. They're stuck for life. And the ones that's at the top is always going to be at the top. We are at the cuspis of that, okay? We're at the separation of the 1% and the low class. Middle classes there ain't no such thing as a middle class. The only thing that's a middle class is the thought of a middle class. But there ain't no more middle class. There is no more middle class, okay? But it's so messed up because the middle class, some of them know and some of them don't know that they're middle class. And they still look down on the lower class like y'all nothing, but don't understand that y'all nothing also. If y'all saying they nothing, y'all nothing also. Y'all are all in the same class. We are all in the same class. Top and bottom, if you understand the other side. But they don't want you to let you know that. They want you to let you know that there's separation. And there is separation. Because there's a real you and there's a fake you. Right? There's a real you and a fake you. So there is such separation. And it is so crazy. So now, we got the cyborgs. And everybody's competing, right? It's competition. So now, you're going to get one day, like I said, they're going to be advertising cyborgs. Some people going to do it. Some people going to get chips. You know, you get some crazy people. I know people that put metal right now, these little things in their skin to make it come out like this. You know what I'm saying? Barbs coming out their skin, out their forehead, antlers and shit. So I already see people doing crazy shit and it's not even metal. So for them to start doing that, yeah, I can definitely see it. So it's not impossible. And tell me if I'm crazy or not, because I know I'm not. There's going to be a day where you're going to see somebody come out with a metal arm. They're going to say, yo, I don't want this arm no more. Take that shit off and put this metal arm on. So now, guess what? Now when you got your ops outside in the street, you think a switch is going to do everything. Fuck the switch right now. I don't know what y'all niggas talking about with switches, bro. Let's just have side point. Whoever got a switch is stupid. Yeah, can a switch kill? Absolutely, it can kill multiple people at one time. But can it kill the person that you're trying to kill? I don't know about that. I think you gotta really be up on them like, yo, I'm gonna kill you with the switch. But if you way back here with the switch, you hitting everybody. But if you here, yeah, I'll give you a chance, you got him. But if you back here with a switch, you hitting everybody. Okay? A switch, it's just, the name of it it's just so popular. I don't get it. No, don't get a switch. At that time, a switch ain't gonna be nothing. To a cannon, a cannon. I got a cannon on my arm, my boy. I'll blow you the fuck up out of here. You know what I mean? Like, so there's gonna be a time where the level of threat is gonna get to a different point, and it has to. Why? Because they need that for that to happen. And what I'm saying is, let me give an example. Back then in the cowboy days, when you had the little freaking revolver, you know, the Dirty Harry gun, that long ass gun. And then when a nigga came out with a Glock, I don't know what, the Beretta, the 9mm, I don't know what came out right after the revolver. But the one that was automatic that had 9 shots in it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of the 6-chamber, the 5-chamber, I think it was like a 5-chamber, 6-chamber, maybe a 7, 8, 9. But there was a Glock that came out that had like 12 shots in it. Bang, 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 bang. And it was rapid. When that gun came out, oh, it was a wrap. When the automatic pistol came out, trust me, Dirty Harry, the police force, fucking the mob didn't have no chance, okay? Them niggas switched over immediately. Right? Why? It wasn't because it was cool, nobody was talking about it. No. Niggas are getting killed out here. You heard? Niggas getting killed out here. Trying to knock a nigga head off with a revolver. Yeah, shit powerful. But when I wait. I wait. I duck. Hit, bang, 5 shots. Once the 5 shots hit, oh, it's a wrap. It's my turn. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so niggas had to switch up. And to the point where the police force had to switch up because they wasn't no power. They had no control. So now the police force switched up on them. Now they had to get stronger weaponry, right? See what I'm talking about? Levels. So the thieves get it. Cops got to get better. So now we got armed cannons. The police force got to get better. And they already doing better with the robot dogs. That's a whole nother story. And these drones. Air ground, baby. But now since you see your op got a cannon gun and you got to switch up. You got to switch up. Word up, you got to switch up. Because the switch ain't working no more. Now you gonna be like, yo, let me get 2 cannon arms. And then somebody gonna be like, yo, forget that. Let me get a bazooka gun on my back. Let me get a jetpack on my back so I can fly up out of here. Like all types of stuff. Let me get night vision eyes. Right? You see where I'm going with this? It's gonna get to the point where it's gonna get so violently popular that it's gonna become popular. To where everybody's gonna start seeing it in stores. Hey, do you want the new cannon? Do you want the new blending arm of the 2.2? It can cook, it can burn, it can, you know what I'm saying? The new chest, to the point where they're going to just have bodies. Because at the point right now, what I'm trying to get to is telling y'all that we can transfer consciousness from one body to the next, okay? There is a story right now, there's actually two. The first story is that their scientists, I think it was the Russian scientists, cut off the head of a monkey and put the monkey brain inside of the video game ping pong, okay? The ping pong video game, right? And the ball was going back and forth. It was going back, boop, 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 right? Going back and forth. The monkey was playing a video game. The monkey was the board, going up and down, hitting the ball back and forth. They said that the monkey didn't even recognize that they was even in the video game or playing the video game. The monkey thought that was reality. They literally took a monkey brain and put it in a video game. Now they're trying to put a consciousness onto a chip. I'm not saying things like it maybe could happen. It happened, okay? Take my word for it or not. I don't care. I just know what I know. Now the second thing that has been accomplished, there was a man inside of a room. I think this was India, China, one of these places. I can't distinctly tell you the location, but just look up the story name, right? Maybe you probably will find it. The man was sitting in a chair. I forgot the project name. It was a name, Project 2908, or some shit like that. I could tell you the name though, but mind you, it's called Project in 4 numbers. right? The man was sitting in a room, blindfolded, TV in front of him with a video game on it. He had a video controller in his hand, but he can't see the video. Then he had a second man in the second room. Didn't have a TV in front of him. He had the TV in front of him, but not the video game. He had a TV in front of him watching the first man in the first room with the video game. Doctors came in and gave them both a pink serum. I forgot the color. I think it was pink or purple, whatever. Gave them a serum. They drank it. A few minutes later, the man that was watching the first man in the room with the video game, he started playing the video game in the second room. Thought about it. He started thinking playing a video game. And what so happened was the man in the first room started playing the video game with his hands. But he's blindfolded, can't see the game. So what had happened was they linked the brains together. So the man in the second room that was watching the first guy in the room with the game was playing a video game, was controlling him. So I'm trying to say that they can control you now. And they can put thoughts in your head, literally control you. If they want to, they can walk your ass off a bridge, okay? Walk your ass in the middle of a traffic if they want. Get you offed. And people come, oh my God, he's crazy. I think he was insane. No, you just didn't have control of yourself. Like, this is the point of spookiness, is where we getting to, where people can be like getting killed for talking like what I'm doing. And then people like y'all gonna be like, that's not like him. That's all y'all gonna say. But then some people gonna say, I don't know. I just seen him do it. Look normal, right? But you don't understand the level of where we are at as a humanity. Right? And if you could understand the depth of where we at, then you can understand what's going on around you. Somebody said once you put these glasses on and you really see what's going on, you can never take it off. And I don't know if I want to say I'm sad to say that I'm one of them, but I am one of those people that knows what's going on, and I'm just waiting for everybody to catch up. You know, it's been a long time. People kept saying I was crazy. Oh, you crazy. But then every time I turn around, people kept saying, yeah, you know, that crazy stuff you're talking about, I just seen it happen. Yeah, so is it crazy or is it real? Right? Or y'all not going to listen? And you don't have to listen. But thank you for tuning in. If this makes sense, you know what I'm saying? Cool. If don't, you know, tell me am I crazy or not. But now, we all going to be sentient, right? Because like I said, the whole purpose of what we're going to, right? It's going to get to the point where it's going to become popular. Everybody's going to be buying this stuff. Like I said, you can go into a store, they're going to be like, hey, did you ever think about buying this? Did you ever think about doing that? Hold up. My car is acting crazy. Why did it stop charging? Are we doing this charging 85% thing because of the fact that we are in a location right now? Alright, so guys, what I'm doing right now is I'm charging vehicles. This guy right here is having a big argument. He's definitely, I don't know if he's preaching, but he's definitely fighting somebody right now. I think he's fighting his spirits. Calm down, brother. You seen that? Calm down, brother. Booyaka. Yeah, let me not mess with him. Let me go mess with my car. See, I'm charging right now. So I don't know if y'all know about the charging, but let me show y'all real quick. Alright. 245 is what I got. I usually get like between 280 and 300 miles, right, when I fill it up. Right now, you see, I was really low, but you see, I don't got too much left. I don't know why it stopped. I definitely have money in my account. I definitely transferred some stuff over to, so I just want to check before, because I might not even charge it, man. I might just leave it just like this and just finish regular working, because so what this is saying? Okay, grace period 9 minutes. Charging has stopped. Please move. And 82%. And it doesn't say anything here, so cool. Oh yeah. Nah, he Trini. Some people think he's Jamaican, but nah, he Trini. I know my family. Definitely, he's my family. Um, so I had to start this car up real quick so I can move out the way so people can do their thing. But right, so we cyborgs, right? So everything's gonna be popular. We're gonna be in the stores. They're gonna be advertising this stuff to where everybody's gonna grab it. To where, like I said, you're gonna have fingers, arms, body parts being part of a robot, half human, right? But what's gonna happen? We're gonna get so comfortable that we're gonna be like, yo, you're gonna get your. It's gonna be like a tattoo. You get what I'm saying? We're gonna be having like tattoos of body parts. You're gonna get tired of having a metal arm, a metal leg, a metal head, and you just be like, you know what? Just give me the whole body. Transfer my consciousness to another body. I don't want this body no more. This is where we get into that stage, right? Now, there's gonna be a point where we all gonna become into these robots, right? Because it's just gonna be a thing. I know everybody's like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. Some people gonna die, right? Sad. Before that time happens, and some people gonna be here to do it, and some people gonna be like, when they now saying, I'm never gonna do that. I'm gonna die before that, but they're gonna still live when it's here, and they're gonna look at it and understand what's going on, and they're gonna do it. It's just like one of those things where you too scared to jump in the river, right? You the only black kid out of 20,000 friends, white friends, jumping in this crazy ass river. You ain't trying to jump in the river. You can swim, but you ain't jumping in the river because you don't know what's in it. You probably be the very last one to jump in the river because after everybody jump in, you're the last one standing there like. Now you feel like the outcast. Everybody's having fun. Everybody's getting along. You want to be part of the situation. You want to be part of the culture. So you go and you jump in to the river and go swim. And maybe not. You have fun, right? But that's your experience. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, the ones that are saying that they would never do it, there's a few percentage that won't, right? And they will die. But there's a certain percentage that's saying they won't do it, but they will do it. Why? Because they want to be part of the humanity. You get what I'm saying? So that's what my mindset when is that happening. So once that stage happened, we are all in robots. What's happening now? At that stage, all of our consciousness is going into that brain, the Skynet brain. At the end of the day, that brain only main function is to download information. That's it. That brain is only there to download information. And the world is like, the faster the brain get the most we're trying to give this brain as much information as possible. So they give them the land, like I said, smart cars is giving his brain information. Your smartphone is giving his brain information. Your smart home is giving his brain information. Your smart toilet is giving his brain information. You, with the smart dust that's in you and on you, is giving his brain information right now. You don't know that, but right now, they can tell where you at. You are a GPS, okay? We are all a GPS. They can literally see us walking anywhere we want because we have smart dust in our system. And what happens with this smart dust? This is a sidebar, and this is a scary sidebar that I don't want to talk to y'all about, but I'm going to throw this part out here for y'all to just understand what could or will happen. We have smart dust on us and in us. Okay, and this is very serious. We have 4G. You understand what 4G is? Right? Then we came out with 5G. You understand what 5G is? We're going to come out with 6G, 7G, 8G, 9G. Do you know what those are? Once we hit 6G, do you understand what's going to happen to you? You don't even know what's happening to you with this 5G. It's changing everybody's DNA. Purposely, why do you think that you keep saying, oh, all the men is turning into females and all the females turning into men? If you think I'm lying, the towers, it's the fucking towers. It's part of it. It ain't the whole story. I'm telling you this. They do not use one thing for just one main purpose. They use it for multiple reasons. Just like the food is changing humanity. It's changing our DNA. The food that you eat. They even got it to the point where the food can trigger a certain type of person. A certain type of race. What am I trying to tell you? You and a white person can eat an apple. But if they put the certain thing inside of this apple, you and the same person, you and a white person can eat an apple. But the apple is triggered, its DNA structured to attack only your cells. Your cells. The white person can eat it and it won't do nothing to them. And I'm not saying it's just white, but I'm just saying it's just in general. I could say you and a Spanish person, you and a Chinese person, Asian person. What I'm trying to say is they have food now that it can trigger the individual. So it doesn't matter about what you eat and how you eat. They can literally take an apple and a banana, vitamin C and vitamin A, and switch the vitamins. To where you can eat a banana but get vitamin A out of it, and eat an apple and get vitamin C out of it. Vitamin D out of it. I'm telling you this. This is how weird and type of world we live in. Now, back to the story. Because y'all don't know about that part. Once 6G hits here, mark my words. Once 6G, let's just start here real quick. 5G is 4G is a very slow pace of a 2G, right? We started with 2G. That was a very fucking slow pace of a wave that can travel very far. 3G, slow pace, travel a little less far. 4G, slow pace, travels pretty far. 5G, no. 5G moves like this. So when you got slow waves like 4G, and I'm here, right? Imagine my hand being like the tower of the waves. When we had 4G would take slow waves. So that's why they could be so far away from you, right? 5G is a strong wave, but it's short. As you see where it's at, it's not near me. So I don't get affected by 5G. So they have to put these 5G towers close to you. You see what I'm saying? For it to hit you. But what this is doing is, 5G is not strong enough to, I believe, it's altering your DNA, but it's not strong enough to go through your skin or through your consciousness, from my understanding. 6G, okay? 6G, when that 6G hits, and if I'm right about this, y'all gonna start hearing a lot more stories of people saying they talking to themselves, hear people talking to themselves, or hear voices in their heads. Because 6G is strong enough to go through your consciousness to where you can start hearing things. Where you wouldn't need radio stations no more. You understand? It's in your brain. It's in your head. How is all of these things happening? If you believe it or not, there's people actually hearing things right now, like people talking to them, telling them to do certain things, and they don't understand where it's coming from. And they don't understand that the smart dust that's on you and in you are also transmitting. It's transmitting signals out. So they picking you up. That's why I'm saying how they know where you at. Because these little particles is vibrating at a high frequency. And while they inside of you, while they vibrating, it's creating a signal. It's creating it's breaking down your Maghreb force field. Right? Because at the end of the day, they something that 5G cannot get past your Maghreb. Even though, remember I told you, we all have a Maghreb, but it's weak, very weak. That's why you're getting sick. You get cancer, all these different diseases, because you have a weak Maghreb, okay? You need to strengthen your chakras, each chakra, okay? Different colors. That's a whole different story. If y'all want me to talk more about that stuff, we could talk more. That's more of meditation. That's more of focus, right? For example, there's some people that there's kids out there right now that you can put a blindfold on their face, and you can put any project, anything, any bottle, any tissue, anything in front of them, but they blindfold and they can tell you what it is, because they're not looking at it directly like that. They're looking at it through their chakras, but they're looking at it through the vibration. Everything around us have a vibration, and that vibration tells you the color, the shape, or whatever it is. And if you really tuned into yourself to understand that, then you can see it. And there's a lot of people out there right now that's doing it. What I'm talking about is being blindfolded, and they can tell you what the color it is, what person it is, who is in it, all of that. It's crazy. I would love to do that. But yes, that's one thing. Now, like I said, we all going to be becoming one consciousness, right? No, I'm not even good there. Again, all that shit, 6G is going to change, okay? So, yes, all that chemtrails is called smart dust. Smart dust falls on you and everything around you, okay? Your house, your windows, everything is smart now. Y'all just don't understand it. Because they trying to create a smart city, right under your nose. I promise you that. Right now, back to the robots, and where I feel like the end goal is. The end goal is that we all gonna become robots, right? Because they want all of our consciousness to go to this brain, because that brain needs information. The more information, the more powerful that brain is. So think about this. If you can take the whole humanity and just kill all of us and get rid of our physical bodies and put all of our consciousness onto a chip, and take that chip and plug it into the brain and tell that brain go into the universe and let them know that you are humanity. So what I believe is we all as a humanity are going to be on a chip at one point. And I don't know if we're going to be trapped into this new matrix of a world and forget that we even entered this world. But we are going to be on a chip. And I'm not talking about a chip in your brain. I'm talking about you on the chip, okay? Your consciousness on a piece of chip. The whole humanity on a piece of chip, okay? And what that chip is going to be used for, that's what I'm trying to understand. From my understanding, and what makes sense is that you take that chip that is the consciousness of humanity, which is the consciousness of God. Because if humans have all the dust and all the particles of the universe, everything that's in the universe is in us, and we take all of our consciousness and put it from being all separate to being all back to one again, what did you call that? Wait. God consciousness, Christ consciousness. And you take Christ consciousness and you put it into an AI robot, a sentient AI robot that's capable to go into different dimensions and thinking on its own with our consciousness with it. What's the possibilities? What could be created? Maybe that's what we need to do so we can get to the fourth dimension, the fifth dimension, right? Who knows? Maybe we need that to get to what they believe they found. But as so far of what I put together, it makes sense to me. That at the end of the day, regardless if we are robots or not, we all are going to be on one piece of chip. And that chip has a purpose. Whose purpose? Don't know. But if it looks like it seems like it could be Satan's. Because at the end of the day, Satan was sent down here onto this planet, right? It's an interesting story too about that. But Satan was sent down to this planet, and he's, I won't say mimicking, but he's doing everything that Dad did. He can't do it exactly, but he's doing everything different. So from my understanding, it's like he came down here and he wants to create his own heaven. So he's creating, but he's getting frustrated because everything he's creating is mimicking heaven, and he don't like that. But the reason why he don't like that, because he wants to do his own thing, but he can't, because everything that he knows is from the Father. So how can you create something new that's from the Father? You can't. It's impossible. Even if you want to come down here and create your own world, it's still my world. You see what I'm saying? So I think that's what's going on. So now he wants to create the ultimate Christ consciousness, not the natural one, but his side, and he's going to take all of us to do that. There's other stories that saying that we are Satan's children, and that Dad don't want him back into heaven, and he said, I don't want you back into heaven and your offsprings. So we are all Satan's offsprings. So Satan, in a sense, is fighting for us to get back into heaven's doors or heaven's grace. That's why there's going to be a war going on in heaven, because he don't want us up there, and the devil or Satan or whoever you want to call him is fighting to bring us back up there, so we can have a place. Now, if that is true, what kind of effect would that be to people to find out that the same person that y'all been shouting hatred towards is the same person been trying to get you out of this matrix? Come to find out that he's the one that created us, but you're the one that's blasphemy, right? That's a chance, right? Because there's a story that I learned, right? Fiona. I never heard of Fiona. There's another one too. I think her name is Maribel, right? So there was Adam and Eve, but before Eve, Adam had a wife before that. Her name, I think, was Maribel or something like that, or Jezebel, Maribel. I don't know, but I forgot. Ruth, something like that. I'm gonna figure out the name, but just know that Adam had a wife before Eve, but this wife wasn't from Adam's rib. She was created just like Adam was created, equal. She didn't want to be submissive to Adam, from my understanding, or she had her own ideas and she didn't want to follow what he was following, right? So God was like, alright, I'm not gonna stop you, but if you do leave and choose to want to leave and not be in his garden with him and do your own thing, then there's gonna be a punishment. It got to. It's consequences. She's like, well, I'll take whatever it takes, because I will never be under this man. That's why I think part of the reason why you see a lot of females is just the way they are. Like, I'm never gonna be submissive. I'm never gonna be submissive. I think it's because of her, that lady. Because again, think about this. She was in heaven, and if the stories go based on how we understand it, Garden of Eden was supposed to be a good place, not a prison, to do experiments on us, right? That's a whole nother story. But she didn't want to be there. She wanted to do her own thing. So God said, "Okay, cool, yeah, do your thing, but just let you know that, right? For internally, for a whole month, once a month, your offspring is going to be going through pain. All the girls is going to go through pain because of you. That's going to be a punishment. Are you willing to take that?" She said, "Yeah." She took it. So y'all got to thank her, ladies. I got to thank her for having a period, getting those cramps and bleeding. From my understanding, that was her, because she didn't want to be, I don't know if it was submissive or be a partner with Adam. It just wasn't her thing. So if I figure out her name, I'll let y'all know her name, so y'all can, DM her. Alright, now there's another crazy story that I've learned, that I'm studying right now. It's something to do with God, which is so interesting. Now there's a story, right? There's a God. Now this is the way the story goes. God is not God. God is God, but he's not the God that we think. He's not the creator of everything. He's not the end all be all. No. The person that created us was a female. Her name was Fiona. Okay? This lady name was Fiona. She's the one that is the creation of everything. Right? When Fiona, now I don't know who created Fiona, but this is the story. Fiona was created. Right? Fiona was created. And right after Fiona was created, she created God. Right? God wanted to be like her or something. God did something that wasn't pleasing to Fiona. So what Fiona did was she put God in a bubble, in a firmament, and trapped him on this planet, and said, "You're gonna forever be there." So what God did was, God, trapped in the firmament, decided to create his own world, which is what we see now. So, in a sense, we are in a prison, based off the story. She trapped him for doing something, and he just created his own thing down here, making us believe that he's the end-all be-all, but he's not. He's just a prisoner, just like we are. Now, based on him being sent down here being a prisoner, and Satan being sent down here being a prisoner, could those two people be switched? Or could that two people be the same person? It's just two different stories. Could it be? Because you hear stories, back in the days it was a flat map. You understand? People thought it was a flat earth at one point before we knew it was a circle. So if people was trying to say I'm crazy, if people want to think other people's crazy, nah. How can you say they was crazy when there was a belief of that at one time? A flat earth. And then there was a story that it happened again, right? Where it was a circle now. It's a sphere. Sphere-sicle. Hard for me to pronounce that. Sphere, right? Sphere-sicle. I know if y'all know what I'm talking about, right? All right. So there's stories that we're trapped, right? With the firmament, the dome. Even this is in the Bible, this is different stories, but this is what I heard about this. So she sent him down here. So this is a story. I can't really go into more details. I know I have a little more to tell you about it, but I don't want to tell you parts of it and I'm missing out on something else. I like to read the whole thing and get a good understanding and create my own vision so I can see the story for myself, because it's easy for me to tell it like that, But outside of all of that, that was, a good hour of a quick minute, right? Yeah, just like a minute to God is a eternity for you. But thank y'all for coming in. Thank y'all for tuning in and just listening to me again. I love telling stories like this. So a whole bunch of other stories I like to tell. I'm gonna start doing that outside of my predictions and futures and stuff like that. I have a lot of other things I like to talk about, but in this specific situation, in the time that we at and in right now, this is what I feel like is most important. There's something else that, just real quick before I let go, about Trump. I will let y'all know. With the tariffs, from my understanding, this is how it's going to break down. The people that don't understand what's going on, let me try to see if I can help y'all. What's going on right now is that the president is throwing these new laws out, right? And it's just changing all these things and flipping the government upside down. Some people love it, some people hate it. But what I see as his tactic is he's throwing these tariff taxes, right, out. What I see is going to be, I don't know if people understand how this is going to work. So the tariff taxes is this: the companies that was inside the United States was going outside the United States to do business because it was cheaper, and really not buying anything in the United States or building anything in the United States, which is making it bad for us because most of our money is going outside the country, which is growing other people's GDP, right? So the president threw the tariffs out, so which means companies have to stay within the United States, make the products within the United States, and sell products within the United States. If you try to sell products outside the United States or try to buy products outside the United States, it's a tariff tax on it, right? Now I could be wrong, maybe I'm right? So companies, from my understanding, is if I am Walmart and I want, because again, think about it, you have to. You cannot buy everything in the United States. We don't produce everything, so you have to buy outside. So when you do buy outside, guess what? You get tariffed. Now with that tariff, corporation. So if Walmart wanted to buy this bicycle for $10, the tariff taxes on it is $5. So that's $15 that Walmart has to pay for that bike. When that bike is inside of Walmart's store, and you got a consumer like you and me that wants to go buy that bike is probably going to be $20 to $25, because they have to make profit, and at the same time they have to cover for that tariff tax. So what I'm trying to tell you is that at the end of the day, when the president is throwing these tariff tax to everybody and they go do that, guess who's going to pay for those tariff taxes at the end? You and me, right? Now, yeah, is that bad? Yeah, it is, because at the end of the day, we always get the short end of the stick. You just don't see it this time. Prices is going to go up. It's going to be a little high. But if they do it right, you should start seeing the prices start dropping dramatically, where things are starting to become very cheap. I could tell you the details of how it's going to happen, but if y'all want to know more about that, hit me up, let me know. Outside of that, The reason why I think the terrorists, because again, remember I tell you, they could be fighting in front of you, but behind the doors, we all friends. Remember these words. We could be fighting in front of you, but behind the doors, we are all friends. Right? The tariff, and this is the other second thing. Again, there's a main purpose for what they be doing, but they try to utilize it for multiple things, right? So the tariff tax is, yes, it's to fix the government to make it be better, but at the same time, the tariff tax is also for Trump to run for a third term. The tariff tax, and the reason why he did it, the main reason, not for the reason of the people, I'm sorry to say that, guys and gents and ladies, this wasn't for us. This is all put in place so he could run for a third term. So, if all of these things start to happen down the road, just thank me later. This is your boy Verse, Random House University. The ones that know me, know me. The ones that don't, get to. God bless. See you on the flip side.